Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony. Welcome back. I think maybe I've actually now overcorrected. Maybe that'll be better. I don't know. Anyways, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. Kai's right. Kalterkrieg as Danubian. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So we're currently trying to be more friendly with the Italians. We're currently trying to undermine Savinkov's power in Russia, and I'm hoping it's working, but I'm not too sure. Because, I mean, there's a slight chance that Russia will just declare war on Ukraine because of all of the all the stuff that we're currently doing, right? By, you know, throwing more weapons into there, by trying to rile up the population. Maybe Russia will invade. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But we're going to go and get our next level of aircraft. How many planes do we have? We got a few hundred in reserve right now. How many are currently actually deployed? 1.3k. So, okay, we have about 2,000 planes, which is not a crazy amount. Demobilization protests shut down major cities. Many former servicemen and leave in university students. Okay, so I think this is like the exact same event. The protesters promise to return every week until the situation is changed. So it's a 50-50. The realities of demobilization for the WWII army focus must be completed to stop this reoccurring issue. Okay. So we've got to take... Where is that? Great, mothballing. It's not in here. It's going to be in here somewhere. Lessons of war. Okay, we got to take this focus. So we're going to worry about that next up. Once we're done with crushing the Grand Coalition, we'll do the demobilization of the army. Just so we're not, you know, constantly potentially losing stability. And I don't want to lose stability. I know that seems crazy. But it's not really in my best interest. And certainly it's not in your best interest to have this constantly be happening. Okay, so we have 11 divisions. What can we do with these guys? 2 divisions. We can go 1, 2. Go 1, 2. And then the rest of you are going to be put into a new army under a new field marshal. I'm just going to throw you into a new theater just so I don't have to look at you anymore. What do we want you to be? Okay, Wilhelm Zenner. And let's station... Is there anywhere we don't have troops, really? Not really. So I guess for right now, you guys will just garrison Budapest. Just I literally have no idea where else to actually put you. Okay, I mean, could you, like, stop that, though? Is it going to be, like, every single week? That was on the 7th. Yeah, so I'm guessing it has, like, a 7-day mean time to happen. Which is very, very rude. Britain wants to buy some equipment. Sure, why not? I have no reason not to sell to the British. At least right now. It's not like we're going to go to war with them anytime soon. I like, wonder what are they up to? You know, they got their national government. Things are going okay. Yes, okay. So this is just... More than anything, it's actually just kind of annoying to have to keep clicking the events. Undermine the Grand Coalition. The socialists constantly naysay, obstruct, or compromise motions proposed by the CSP OKGFP, down to an insubstantial whimpering, far distant from the original meaning. We cannot achieve the vision that Minister-President Dolphis has for Danubia with them in the government, so little birds must fly, and spiders must whisper in their webs. The days of the Grand Coalition are numbered. The CSP OKGFP can do it alone. The smear campaign in Vienna and the second in Budapest will weaken support for them in the halls of power that matter the most. And some duplicity with regards to our words and action in relation with our intentions with regard to the socialists will put their hackles up and pull the mainstream of the party away from the idea of continuing this devil's alliance with them. Okay, so then we'll finish that up. We then want to go to Lessons of War because we do want to get the demobilization done. This will delete the conscript template and disband all units created with that template. Which template is that? You. How many of you do we have? I think the answer is 0. I don't think we have any of those divisions. No, yes, we do. We do for sure. Can I switch these guys out? No. God damn it, game. You're one step ahead of me. Okay, cool. So we're going to actually lose like half the army. The Batak Hasnet Ha Gadol Shel Budapest. The Jewish community in Budapest has recently celebrated the completion of the expansion to the Tabagasti synagogue complex. the previous expansion in 1931 to the synagogue was a hero's temple for those Hungarian Jews who lost their lives in the First Weltkrieg, and a Jewish museum built on the house that Theodor Herz, the father of Zionism, was born in. However, the Jewish community in Budapest continues to grow in numbers and require a larger meeting space. They therefore purchased a building behind the synagogue, and for the past 3 years have been renovating it to match the distinct Moorish revival style of the main complex. With the acquisition of new property, the community will be able to move more administrative functions out of the main synagogue complex and turn over the space to pursuit of worship and related occasions such as weddings, scriptural studies, and funerals. Ah, fantastic. Hey, 1% instability. That's going to offset 1 protest, which, I mean, it's something. It's better than not having it all, I guess. Okay, let's go for 2 more points into our nuclear program, currently at 2%. And, of course, the socialists have taken Illyria, which is not a surprise at all. We knew that was going to happen, right? There's nothing I think we could have done to stop that. Okay, quarterly growth. I'm assuming we're going to get another factory. Excellent. Because the economy, because we just start so strong, we basically are constantly going to be getting free factories, which is very, very nice. Always happy to see it. Okay, early radar. I think we just want to go for more planes as well. Just upgrade the Air Force when we can. We're very, very, very happy to see it. There's a lot of Canadian troops here as well. But, like, I don't want to fight. Okay, they do have the Montreal Agreement right now. In order to secure Danubian's acceptance of the unification of the white Italian forces, an agreement was reached in Montreal during 1942, in which Vienna acknowledged the consolidated white government and pledged not to occupy any Italian territory after the war. Okay. So they need to have that event, and they need to have their election, which is going to be sometime in 1941, doesn't actually say in here. Once they have their election, we're able to come to more agreements with the Italians, which I think will be nice for us. Why can't I undo this? Retain. Oh god, we need to do one of these first. Okay. Conscription. I'm glad we at least finished you first. Limited conscription no matter what. Why would I? And then you're another 0.5%. But what are we at right now? We're taking like a negative 30, negative 25. Sure, you know what? Let's allow civilian alternatives, I guess. Sure. The 0.5% doesn't seem like it matters. Wait, no, that's good for recruit population. Not recruit population factor. Which is different. Okay, so that's actually a 0.5% off of the main number. Okay. For 1% construction speed? I'll do it. Why not? The lessons of the Second Weltkrieg. The army managed over the course of the Second Weltkrieg to conduct itself admirably, despite the many handicaps faced by a multinational army of conscripts. The unification of the command structure under the ad hoc aegis of the Armee Oberkommando, the integration of the former KK SS Guard units, as well as the ongoing process with the normalization of the Landswehr and the Honven ranks into the Gemini's command structure, meant that Danubia fought the war with possibly the most centralized and organized force since Austria expanded beyond the borders of German-speaking lands. Part of this radical shift in the development of military strategic thinking, after the torturous grind of the First Weltkrieg, applied pressure to Austria-Hungary such that at points, there were real concerns that it would not survive a second one. Thus, when the chance to do so was given, the school Mandovik Krieg took over the roots of the Adenoslav. The modernization and mechanization of Danubia's armed forces was furthered during the period before the Federation joined the Second Weltkrieg, despite the slightly hurried entrance due to Russian gains on the Eastern Front. Additionally, it must be recalled that the Balaton Principles had assured that central military would not be considered a truly viable tool for internal policing, which meant that the army was able to develop in new directions from its previous roles. Divisions still deployed to areas where the soldiers were not local, but this was more due to the extent of the borders and the necessity of conducting modern Weltkrieg. Further development and codification of the Army Slavic languages, as well as the additional training for Hungarian Germans for all conscripts, reduced some of the linguistic dissonance and reduced reliance on the regimental languages. Ultimately, the Jemison Armee finished the war at the peak of its strength, as an army that, despite the to and fro of the war in the east and the fierce bloodshed of the forces in Italy, had come to its full strength as an organization. These gains must be preserved for Danubia's sake. And the army and royal anthems. Since 1788, various incarnations of Austria and later Danubia have stood and sung the allegiance to the national royal anthem of Gott Enhed Franz de Kaiser. There were no plans to change the royal anthem to be played when the Habsburg attended defense. However, given the new form of Danubia, and the fact that it's approximately for a decade since the signing of the Belaton Agreement, Kaiser Otto suggested that it might be worthwhile to take a break from the past in order to cement the fact that Danubia was not meant to be a direct continuation of the Empire under a softer face. Rather, it is a true new federation of nations on the world stage that replaces Austria-Hungary. There are 3 proposed changes. 1. No change. 2. A version that uses the Haydn song, but adapts a poem by Ottokar Kernstock. Or 3. There is another proposal by a woman named Paula von Presneck to set to a Mozart beat. You know what? Yeah, let's have Danubia's a new place and deserves something new. Lande Burge, Land am Strom. Let's go with a new anthem, followed by better breakthrough for our mechanized divisions. Not going to say no to that. It's a bit of a shame again that our one doctrine that we have by default is not the one that's actually supported by any of our theorists, which is very, very funny. It's like the one here that's not actually represented, which is very, very funny. But I think we will have support with our Italian allies. So in 1 year, we'll be able to get help from them. And Bratislava intervenes in the Prešov matter. A special national level commission from the Slovak government has been formed to work in supporting the settled Romani communities throughout Slovakia, with the special emphasis given to the uplifting of the community near Prešov. Dispatch of a doctor to the village, as well as hiring local men to dig ditches to allow for the installation of proper sewage and water lines, as well as the electrification of the village, are the first steps in what is being considered a model program to roll out throughout the Crown Land in regards to dealing with backwaterness in the eastern part of the country. There's even discussion that there might be a word pursuing other crownlands, and that the Hungarian, Transylvanian, and Galician governments have sent observers to report on the progress of their modernization progress. Well, I'm happy to get a little bit more stability off of that, for sure. And how are you guys doing? I mean, we're getting like 4 factories built at a time, with a 5th one just kind of, you know, chugging along a little bit. Of course, we're spending some of our factories on the military. It just is what it is. Can't really do anything about that. Okay, Montgomery plan has been announced. I don't think there's anything we can do to make any money off of that. Bit of a shame. I would love a little bit of Canadian investment, but you know, it is what it is. And the smuggling of weapons into Ukraine. Fighting propaganda leaflets is one thing. One cannot make a revolution on hope and paper alone. At key points along the Dnieper, the Russians have weaknesses in their line. A small boat can cross the river there, after dark, undetected. There's also the Sea of Azov and the route through Odessa. The borders of Russia are not as inviolable as claimed. Smuggling weapons does carry some small risk, if nothing else the fact that they are Danubian manufactured, but it can be justified as long as they are not caught directly importing it. Danubian weapons, even of reasonably modern manufacturing, are already in parts of the country. Increasing that small number to a flood will not be hard work. Let's drown them in guns. You know what, sure, spend another 50 points. Let's send even more rifles into Ukraine. Are they getting, like, modifiers here? 65% resistance. Civilian oversight. Why? You really have civilian oversight? That's kind of crazy. Why would you do that? Like, that's really... I guess maybe it's, like, Russia don't have the manpower. Maybe they don't have the equipment for it. In order to actually maintain garrisons in their territories. I mean, as far as we know, they literally don't have any planes. So... take that as you may. Yeah, let's demoralize the army. As much as I wish I didn't have to do it, I don't want to be getting these pop-ups repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. So Syria has collapsed into civil war. The end of the Military Boschven in Frankreich. Military occupation in France. Okay, so they're probably going to declare themselves the Kingdom of France very, very soon. Which is fine. Not too concerned with that one. Again, really anything that Germany does is not really a big concern. Like, we are supportive of the Berlin government to an extent. But we are not, you know, we're not their lapdogs. We're not going to do, like, anything Germany tells us to do just because Germany says to do it. You know what I mean? Okay, so it's early 49. You're all 51 techs. I mean, I guess we can go, like, try to get it to guided missiles, maybe? What about you guys? You don't really do anything. You don't do anything. Flamethrowers, I don't think we're going to really care too much about. So yeah, let's just kind of keep on upgrading our aircraft. Get everything up to jets, which I think that'll be quite nice. and more tank divisions. We'll just assign you into ground army as well. Just kind of hanging on Budapest. I mean, I'm sure Budapest is a nice city. I've never been, personally. But I'm sure it's lovely. Anything else you want to sell on the market? I mean, we still have like a lot of equipment on there, huh? A lot of equipment. Is there anything else? Again, anything we want to sell at all? Maybe some trains? Not a ton. We'll throw in like some trains in there. Planes I want to keep. AA cannons. Let's go 500 on those. Anti-tank. We'll go 500 on those. Trucks, we can add another 1,500 onto that. Anti-tank rifles, we can add like another 1,000. And regular rifles, you know, we'll even sell these rifles for cheap. Throw another 10k on there. I think that seems okay. Can I edit these? Yeah, make the price on all these as cheap. I think that seems okay. I mean, if you can sell them for cheap, it's better to sell them cheap than to not sell them at all, right? You know, actually, maybe we'll just do that for everything. Selling. Sell equipment. Yeah, just bring everything cheap, man. I would really enter would just edit this immediately, but fortunately it doesn't work that way. Sell the trains for cheap. Sell the AA guns for cheap. How much are it? So it goes from 5k to 37. So it's actually, it's not that bad. It's not like it's like that much cheaper. But there is now, of course, war in Russia. And by Russia, I do mean in China. And apparently, actually, you guys join? Okay, so they've actually made this war a little bit bigger. Because now you are on the same side. And you are now supporting the Guangzhou government. Okay, that's interesting. I will start a Lend-Lease to the Beiyang government. Because again, we are more supportive of you. And we share the same ideology. Than we are of the of Guangzhou. And I have never seen a Beiyang government fall the 2 times that we've done this. Not that I'm expecting the Beiyang government to collapse this time, but you know, setting up some guns is not going to hurt anybody, right? I mean, it's going to hurt the enemy. Hopefully it's going to hurt the enemy. It's not going to hurt us, though. Presumably, at the very least. If it hurts us somehow, then I will feel like a complete fool. Kingdom of Italy gets command power. Army experience for us plus 20. You know what? I was going to say sure, but that doesn't seem like a good choice at all. What about Chief of Staff? Army logistics. Artillery specialization. You give us passive army experience gain. Very, very, very small amounts, unfortunately. So I'm not even going to worry about you then. Cavalry. You're all specialists, huh? I mean, I probably would prefer an expert. 8% recovery rate. Probably be what we take. The attrition might be fine. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go throw the infantry specials on there. I'm sure it'll be fine no matter what. Okay. The realities of demobilization. Since the peace seems to last for some time and the morale of the conscript recruits have begun to wane, it has become obvious that at least partial demobilization will take place, regardless of our readiness stance against Russia. Even if the political will exist, there are personnel within the army who would be more productive in society. Demobilization offices across Danubia are already providing our soldiers with suitable civilian clothing to allow them to pursue opportunities in a general workforce, as well as technical certifications where applicable. No doubt there will be those who will not fit in and will gravitate back to the armed forces, but we must do what we our best to provide them with a decent chance in the wider world. For those soldiers who have stayed behind and in the officer corps, there will be a change in operational behavior. Priorities must be reassessed, and plans must be made knowing that the expedient requirement of there's a war on can no longer force a rush order or divert a shipment. How many men do we lose? Honestly, not as many as I was originally fearing. What do we need to do for you? We need to assess the Balaton principles, complete the grand agricultural. Okay, so we need to do all of these, and then we go down to here. Okay. What about scale up the Figo plan? We do need to do this too. Okay, so we need all of this until we can actually push out the socialist. So let's first and foremost organize armed commission, get our way down to maybe setting up the Figo plan. Could be good for us. And now you guys in Hungary can go to other fronts. There we go. You guys figured that one out. Sure, you'll do great work there. Serbian minority involved in violence near the border. The Banat has always been a tinderbox, but recent agitation by Belgrade has the local Serbian population protesting in the streets of Temsvar. They're protesting their troubles with employment due to language difficulties. However, as part of the Hungarian crown land, there's little recourse for them under the Stratrans principle. The local authorities' response has been to arrest and attempt to deport the protesters to Serbia, but the border garrison refused to process the paperwork without federal authorization. Once the central ministry was aware, Budapest was contacted, and all were released and allowed to return to their homes. The local authorities have been disciplined, and several key personnel to the decision have resigned. Very, very cool. Very, very happy to see it. I mean, Serbia, right now, I don't know if we're going to go to war with them. I wouldn't be, like, opposed to it necessarily, but we'll have to see on that one. But I will say, at least right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So you can enjoy me, thumbs up. Not doing it, thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.